Whoops, sorry. All right, so if you got Wonky Star quilt kits and you were confused about what to do, there's now a video online that will walk you through it. All right. Okay, we had a couple of members tag us in a request for quilts for victims of the fires in Maui. And so if you have a finished quilt that you are interested in donating, please email us and we can make arrangements to pick it up, and then we'll ship a bunch all together over there to give to people that have lost their homes. So and then I also wanted to call out that Happy So Lucky has this new pattern that she put together, that the proceeds from that are going to be donated to Maui Rapid Response. So if you're interested in purchasing her pattern, it's available, linked on Instagram. So and yeah, if you have a quilt that you would like to send along to those folks, please email us and we'll take it from there. So yeah. All right, Michelle, you want to talk about our SO Day?
Sure. So day, the next one's the West Side. And so that's West Side Mill End 10 to 4, August 26th, so 2 weeks. And we'll also be collecting fabric for free tables. So we're collecting the fabric at Marcy's house, and her address is in the members only section. If you'd like to drop something off ahead of time, please do. And all you have to do is bring your machine and your project. We'll have ironing boards, cutting mats, tools. It's such a great fun time to get, especially if you're looking for feedback. I think that's what I use the SO Days for, is when I'm working on something and I know there's going to be a nice group of folks there to kind of get input from others. So I hope you'll join us.
There's some great lunch spots there too. All right, Casey.
Yeah, okay, so spots for the Tillicum retreat are on sale. We did a little bit of shuffling around and opened up a few more single rooms. So I think there's 2 left. So if you want those, go ahead and grab them. And then we've only got 10 spots left for double occupancy. Myself, Corey, Linda, and Bernadette are working on planning a super fun retreat with lots of fun games and probably some fabric swaps and other good stuff. There'll be goodie bags and prizes. You literally get to sew all weekend and they feed you. It is the best time. So get your tickets now.
All right, and then Sarah.
Yeah, I'm working on the Astoria retreat, which is in November, the 2nd through the 5th. It's at the Astoria Crest Motel. It's a little bit different than our traditional retreats. We had one last year. Everyone had a really great time. There's going to be 12 spots available. We're going to have the chance to purchase those tickets for those spots in the shop soon. We'll be sending it out in the email. We do have 3 coordinators so far. It's pretty fun. You go to Astoria, you get your own hotel room. You can stay with your friend or your family or with another guild member. The hotel is pretty reasonable. We have a really great conference room that's specifically set up for quilters because the owner of the hotel is a quilter herself. And we just eat snacks all day and all night and sew all weekend. So more about that coming soon.
And if you're interested in helping with that one, we have a few coordinators, but we would love a couple more just to make it many hands make light work. So you can reach out to the guild email or reach out to Sarah directly. That'd be great. Thanks. Next slide, maybe. Come on. There we go. All right. Casey, you want to take this one?
Yeah, just a couple of reminders about QuiltCon. Registration opened up on Tuesday. Looks like most of the classes are full, but there are still waitlist spots available. It's in Raleigh this upcoming year. And then the thing that's most important is that show entries open September 1st and close on the 31st. So get cracking and get entered if you want to get a shot at showing your quilt at QuiltCon.
All right. Speaking of QuiltCon, we're going to be working on our MQG community outreach quilt. We are going to be using these colors, canary, dovetail, mauve, and prune. And we're going to be starting to collect fabric for that at the free table. We're gonna collect the fabric, and then Chris is gonna come to our free table day on the 26th, and we're gonna use the AccuQuilt to start cutting stuff out. So if you have fabrics that are these colors, they don't have to be the specific Bella solids. They can be prints, they can be scrappy, but just like this sort of general colors, you can bring them to the free table on the 26th. You can bring them ahead of time and drop them off at Marcy's house. And then we're gonna start making those kits and work on getting them out to folks. So if you come, my goal is, we'll see if this actually happens, but my goal is to have kits ready to go by the end of the day on the 26th. So if you're at the SO Day, you can take one home with you, and then we'll make arrangements to have pickup locations around Portland Metro. And if you are out of town and you want to get one, we'll figure out what that looks like and how what the timeline is for getting back. So but we'd love to, you know, take a look at your stash and see if you have anything that's in these colors. And again, I'll go back. It's this kind of buttery yellow, a soft gray, and then 2 shades of purple. So yeah, and this quilt was designed by Chris Martini. All right, hold on. Okay, we're starting to recruit for the 2024 board. Casey, you want to take, I mean, we can all of us current board members can talk about this, but do you want to start?
Yeah, so we're looking for a president, a VP of tech, a VP of social media, a secretary, and a programs person. And generally we have the programs position split between 2 people because it's a decent amount of work, and 2 people, it really makes it helpful. And then we split the tech and social media position into 2, so it's a lot more manageable time-wise.
All right. So the president leads the meetings and leads the board, and gets to kind of see all the inner workings of everything. And this year I've, you know, stepped up and done a bunch of the tech stuff and Instagram things not as well as they could be if they were one person's sole job. But that's kind of backup. And yeah, so we'd love to have somebody sign up as president for next year. All right. VP of Tech is a board position, and you would update the website, put together the newsletter in MailChimp, work on setting up the Zoom meetings, and all of the tech things. So and then social media, you would post to Instagram and Facebook, create the little pictures in Canva, and respond to any comments on social media. All right, secretary. Casey, you want to talk about what it takes to be the secretary?
Sure. Yeah. So it's about 6 to 8 hours a month. So basically you're in charge of creating the agenda for the monthly board meetings, taking minutes, and getting those posted to the website. At the moment, once we have a VP of technology, they'll post those for you. And then make sure that the board is aware of anything that they've been assigned. You help respond to emails in the shared guild email inbox. Yeah, it's a super fun job. It's a great way to kind of get introduced to board service without too terribly much commitment. So yeah.
So this is the workshops or programs coordinator kind of role, and it's generally split into two. This year we've had like 1.5 people. And it's really great because you get to know what the board, or sorry, what the membership wants in terms of speakers. And then we kind of reach out to all the people that are recommended, and we keep on track with that every sort of at the end of the year, beginning of the year, and then it slows down in the middle. But we constantly are reaching out and trying to get folks that are recommended or requested by our members. And I think one of the things that is great is you get to moderate workshops if you're interested. And so you're not necessarily taking the workshop and sewing or quilting along with the members, but you're there listening and seeing what's happening and absorbing the details while helping to facilitate the workshop and make sure that comments are answered and everything's running smoothly. So it's a really cool position, and it's a nice way for all of these positions. I think what's great is if you don't know anyone in the guild, or you feel a little intimidated because you're not sure who folks are, joining any of these positions is a great way to just get to know the guild as a whole. It's been really fun to meet more people in these positions. So
Definitely. And the guild is completely volunteer run, and we can't do it without volunteers. So please step up. And then Alyssa has a question. Are there prerequisites or background knowledge skills that are required or helpful for each of these positions? Would be great to see those alongside roles and responsibilities. I would say, I mean, honestly, the only position that has like an actual requirement for background is the treasurer. Kathleen has volunteered to stay on again next year. And the only actual like requirement is that you have to live in Washington or Oregon, because that's where our bank is located for that position. But any of the other positions can be local or remote. You have to have a willingness to serve, a willingness and, ability to problem solve. And, if you know how to run meetings, that's great. If you don't, there's resources out there, and you can really lean on everyone else. There's a lot of email work in all the positions. And generally we have, and each board gets to decide for themselves, but generally we have a 2-hour board meeting the weekend prior to the guild meeting, and then you attend the guild meeting. So that's 4 hours of meetings, and then a lot of emails in between that. So it's, and our board currently makes decisions. We check in with everybody and decide together on what we're going to do. So lots of emails. If there's particular positions that you're interested in or have questions about, please reach out and we'd be happy to chat with you one-on-one. The other thing I'll say is that we'll do a full handover that, which whoever is taking over each position, the current person will meet with you for, 1 to 3 hours, however however long you need, and will be available as a resource for you next year and all of that. So we'll talk through all the things. All right, we do have our membership survey is now available. So we'd love to hear from all of you, feedback on how things are going, things we could do differently, speakers you want to see for next year, activities that you want to see next year, all kinds of stuff. So that is available in the members only section. And it also went out, via email this week. So you can check your email from a couple days ago and get the link that way as well. All right, do we have Amy still here to talk about our improv block of the month?
Yeah, hi. Hi, everyone. I turned my fan off, so hopefully you can hear me. I feel like we're all probably living that life right now. So the 2023 Block of the Month program is a little different than usual. It's an improv sampler inspired by a Portland landmark every month. If you want to go to the next page. So this month is Lad's Edition, actually a map of Lad's Edition, which oddly isn't in Lad's Edition from my understanding, but I don't know, Portland, keep it weird, right? So so Lad's Edition is this really cool historic neighborhood, which you probably all know about, but I really enjoyed learning about. It's one of the oldest planned residential developments on the West Coast, and then also the oldest in Portland. And there's some cool, whenever I do these, I always put like a little bit of information on the slide, but there's more on the PDF, because the history of Lad's Edition is quite interesting around race and stuff like that, because it was one of the only places in the city that was open to Asian Americans in the 30s, despite originally not being, when the original deeds expired. Then it became kind of informally a neighborhood that was considered safe and that people gathered in. So yeah, so it's the most quilty of our prompts. And so I haven't gone into a lot of written detail here. I've just shown you some examples, but you can play with the X's or with the triangles to make a reverse X, or I mean, octagons are always fun. So there's some cool stuff to look at and play with in it. Sarah did all the details. Sarah's is actually, I don't know, Sarah, I hope you, she sent me extra pictures, but I'm hoping she posted them on her Instagram or something, because Sarah did a really cool applique that's Hawaiian quilting kind of techniques. That's like you cut almost like a snowflake. So that's really cool. And then Sandy did some details, picked up kind of the circular shape in the cross streets. And then I did very little details with my striped fabric. So it's entirely up to you what you want to play with, how you want to play with it. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Amy. Really fun. All right, we have some small groups. Check the calendar and the members only section for the dates and the Zoom links. If you are interested in starting a small group for a particular topic or for a particular day, we can also explore starting to get small groups together in person. There used to be a hand sew happy hour every month that we had a leader for. So if anyone is interested in doing something like that, please email us and we can add it to the calendar. But it's a great way to get to know more people in the guild and, you know, a little more personalized than being on Zoom the whole time. So, yeah. We've got some new PMQG members. Thank you for joining. And thank you also for folks. We do have our half-year membership is now available. So if you have a friend who was thinking about checking out the guild, it's $25 for the rest of the year. And we'd love to have more folks. Oh, Marcy, do you want to talk about, you had added this? Oh, no, can't hear you. Sorry. There's going to be SAQA is having their conference in October, and they've invited us to attend and join them. And they are going to have two of our members, Sarah Flynn and Chris Martini, are going to be speaking at that event. So that is a you can go to their SAQA website to register if you're interested in attending that.
Testing 1, 2.
Oh, that sounded a little better. Oh, but now we can't hear you. All right.
You hear me now?
Yes. Don't move.
Sorry,
No,
my downstairs because my computer wasn't working upstairs, but this was all. I was impressed by what Chris did with his leftover triangles and just a small little 20 by 24 mini made from cutoffs from the it was a charity quilt that I made and gave them, and these were the leftover scraps.
nice. All right, is Corey on to talk about her single girl? Corey might not be here, doesn't look like. All right, so this is a class that Corey took, and with us pre-pandemic, she made a few more blocks, and then I don't know that she said this in here, but she didn't want to make any more, and so she figured out a way to make it work without having to make any more rings, and it was quilted by Kazumi. I really love how she used the same fabric for the binding as for the background. I think that looks really cool. Anne, are you here to talk about your absolutely amazing
Thanks.
EPP?
Yes, I'm here. It's finally done. It took me a year on and off. And I talked to Chris, and I think she's got something special planned. I think I'll have her do some, unique quilting on this. I dove into EPP, but I don't necessarily want to do hand quilting at this time and use this as kind of an experiment. So I'll leave that to the experts, and I hope to submit this to Sisters next year. Thanks.
Awesome. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Absolutely amazing. All right, do we have Roseanne?
Yeah. I didn't submit anything.
Rosanna?
Speaking, I
No,
didn't submit anything.
Well, whoever this is, Rosanna Fulton, are they here
That's
today?
not me.
There's more than one. This is a really cool quilt. Doesn't look
Well,
like she's
on behalf
here
of Rosanna's and Rosanna Fulton did an awesome job. Look at that.
All right, she says she hand stitched and quilted this. Wow. For her mother's birthday. Whoops, sorry. She's starting midwifery school. That's cool. I love this fabric. This is that's all hand sewn. That's, wow, amazing. Great job, Rosanna. All right, Marianne, are you here to talk about this fun
I am here.
swimming? I love this.
Thank you. This was something that just was in my head forever. So it had to be done. And that's about it. I love water aerobics, and there's always somebody doing laps on the line on the other side of us. But our teacher always encourages us to splash a lot. So that's why all the quilty waves are
Yeah,
crashing.
the movement in the quilting is amazing. You quilted this yourself?
I did. It's very
Awesome.
tiny. It's like
That's great.
probably 14 by 18 or something like that. So,
Awesome. That's so fun.
yeah.
The movement in the water is really cool, and all the colors. I love the colors.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing this with us,
Oh,
Marianne.
wow.
Is Jackie here?
Hi, yes, I am. So this is a quilt that I just saw a picture and figured it wouldn't be too hard to make because it's just a Bargello. It was lots of fun to make, and I made this for a friend of mine who loves the beach. And it was fun to put the baby turtles on and so on. So that's my baby turtle quilt.
That's great. Beautiful use of colors and value and all of that. So cool. Oh, and then you have another one.
Yeah, and then this is since I had asked at one of the retreats for advice on my Art Deco quilt. I thought I would let you guys see the final version. And so I also Googled Art Deco buildings because I've learned some things about taking pictures of quilts from workshops here. And so I took it out to Vista House, which is an Art Deco building. And so I took some pictures of it out in nature last weekend. And yeah, the quilting was done by Nancy Stovall as well. And she did a great job. And it was her idea to do the pink, hot pink quilting. I think that was a great idea. Yeah.
That's great. So fun.
Oh, and also about half the fabrics are actually from clothes that my friend sent me. So my friend doesn't know about this yet, but she's going to get it gifted in September.
Oh, that's exciting. Fun. I hope she loves it. All right, Sarah. You were here earlier. Are you still here? You want to tell us about your quilt for your dad? Okay.
Yeah, thanks. I made my dad a quilt. He got married to a lady a couple months ago, and they're both in their 70s. So I want to use some vintage fabric, and I kept on trying to make other more complicated quilts, and then just ended up with like this modern improv bear paw big blocks one. And I want to add some words to it that was kind of sweet or something. I know he loves to play Mr. Tambourine Man on his guitar, so I added some lyrics from that song. Yeah, I got to quilt it this weekend, and he's pretty excited about it. He texted me today. He's like, "So where's my wedding quilt? I'm old. I'm working on it." So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it. This like the chenille piece in the middle is like from the free table, which is like one weird like sample. But I think they'll dig it. They'll like it.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Great.
thanks.
Fun. All right. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry. Tanya?
It's all right. Yes, that's correct. Okay, so the middle one is the one that meant to be, but then I made a mistake. And instead of having the 4 solid and 5 color, I switch it around so it becomes 5 solid, the dark blue solid, and the only 4 colors. So that's how the quilt kind of flip the star differently. Right, happy accident, yes.
It's great. I love how it's scrappy, but also constrained with the blue and yellow.
Thank you.
Really
And,
cool.
right,
And
thank you.
did you quilt it yourself or did you have somebody quilt it for you?
I quilted myself and just drawing straight zigzag line.
So cool. Love it. Thank you so
Thanks.
much for sharing. All right, Dawn. Is Dawn here? Doesn't look like Dawn is on anymore. So she made this Christina Camelli pattern with the Moongate fabric. And finally, she made, looks like she says she made 2 quilts for her goddaughter. That's so cool. Oh, and there's a little, she's got writing in here. I can't tell what it says, but this says love. Really nice quilt. All right. And Maureen, is Maureen here?
Yes, I am. Hi, everyone. I'm one of your non-local members. I live in New York, and I bought this pattern when Audrey spoke at one of the meetings, probably 2 years ago by now. And I never got around to doing anything with it. And, you know, it just sat in the someday I'll make it pile. But this year, my local Long Island Modern Quilt Guild, the president's challenge was to make some sort of transparency quilt, and it didn't have to be our own design. So I saw this and I'm like, oh, that's it, I'll do it. So I did it and I changed it up a little bit. Audrey's pattern had 2 different colorways on the top and bottom, but I had a big stash of blues. So I decided to stick with blues. So it's kind of, I guess, a mirror image to the top and bottom. And I did horizontal walking foot quilting. I wanted to do matchstick quilting like Audrey did, but I was finishing this the night before it was due. And I did the math and realized that if I did all that quilting, I'd be up until 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, no.
So I stuck with 1/2-inch quilting and I'm kind of happy with the way it came out.
It
even
still
though
looks
it's not,
great.
you know. And so I also have 2 other patterns that I bought from Audrey. So now I'm kind of on an Audrey mission to make some more circle quilts. Thank you.
Yeah. Her work is so cool.
It is,
And
yes.
yours turned out great. I love it. And the
Thank
colors
you.
are really, really cool.
Thanks.
All right. That's our meeting. So, feel free to stick around if you want to. And if you have questions about what it's like serving on the board, or if you have questions about a project you want to, we'd love to have you stay and hang out. But also, if it's bedtime, that's okay too. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this evening. I'm going to figure out how to stop recording. There we go.